Hello everybody, welcome to Yoga for Self-Love with Kim. I'm Kim. This is my helper, my assistant, Gussie. You may see some cameos of my other little dog, Sunny, or possibly my cat, Cassidy, as well. So enjoy. This will be a short, slow flow Vinyasa practice to open up through the front body, bring in a few back bends, and also open through the front of the hips, finding some hip extension. We do so much sitting these days, sitting at work, sitting in the car, sitting on the couch, so it'll feel good to open up through the front of the hips. So bring yourself into a comfortable seat. We'll just pause here for a moment before we get moving. So get comfortable, support yourself as you like. Sit up nice and tall, or if you prefer, you could find a little shavasana or bring yourself into child's pose for a moment. If it's okay for you, you can close your eyes. Otherwise, soften the eyes into a soft and steady gaze. And just take a moment to allow yourself to land. Letting go of the rest of the world, where you are coming from, where you may be going next. And just allowing yourself this time for you, for your practice, this time to be present, to check in with yourself. Honor whatever is happening for you today, however you're feeling. As always, I invite you to bring in the intention to be gentle, kind, patient, loving, and compassionate with yourself as you move through the practice, and also to carry this intention out into your day with you. Take a few nice, deep, smooth, steady breaths. In through the nose and out through the nose, or if you like, in through the nose and out through the mouth. And then slowly begin to open the eyes, bring in a little movement, wiggle fingers and toes, maybe give your shoulders a few shrugs or a few circles. Then we'll find our way into Vajrasana, or thunderbolt pose, sitting on the heels. If this does not feel okay for your knees, then feel free to bring yourself into a different seated position, or you could sit up on a block or two to raise yourself up a little bit higher here and take some of the pressure off of the knees. Sunny, it's okay, buddy. And there's Sunny in the background. All right, coming to your Vajrasana, sitting up on the heels here. Stick the hands back behind you, come up onto your finger pads, and then lean yourself back. You could even plant the palms, come all the way back onto the hands, finding this opening through the front of your hips. You could keep it here, or begin to press down into the tops of the feet, into the shins, and lift your bum up off of your heels. Just a little bit, doesn't have to be too much. Keep the tailbone reaching down towards the knees, belly drawing in and up. And then lower yourself back down. We'll come back up to sit on the heels. Now take the fingers behind you, interlace the fingers, keep the elbows bent, generous bend in the elbows, and bring the hands to rest on the low back. Draw the shoulders back and down, and hug the elbows towards each other behind you. Find some opening and some expansion across your chest. Then we'll take both hands over to rest on that right hip. A nice deep breath or two here. Sunny, that's enough, please. And then bring your hands back around behind you, and then pull the hands over and around towards that left hip. Few breaths, widening through the collarbones. And then release your hands. And then we'll open the arms wide and out to the sides, palms facing forward. So bringing the arms into an external rotation. And then we'll bring the arms up, bend the elbows at a 90-degree angle. So you're cactusing the arms or bringing the arms into goalpost formation. Pull the fingers back, the elbows back. Draw in and up through the belly. Reach up through the crown of the head. Low ribs draw in. And now we'll interlace fingers behind the back of the head. Take the elbows wide. Again, draw in and up through the belly. Feel that low back sweeping in and up. Low ribs knit in. Maybe you lift the heart just a little bit. Maybe you lift the gaze a little bit. And then bring yourself back to center. Release the hands. And then we'll find our way down onto our belly. Legs extended back behind you. Come onto your forearms, shoulders above the elbows. Spread your fingers, root down into your finger pads, down into your pubic bone and down into the tops of your feet. Feel the legs begin to turn on, so you're engaging through the legs. Root down into the finger pads and imagine that you're hugging the arms back towards the body. So a little isometric contraction here. So you pull the heart through the arms. Open through the hip flexors. Opening through the front body. And then release that. Press yourself up into a table position. Coming onto the hands and knees. And now we'll extend the right leg back about hip level-ish. Point the toes. And then root down into the right hand. Begin to reach forward with that left arm, reaching out through the fingers and out through the back toes. And then release the hand and the knee. Other side, we'll send that left leg back, hip level-ish, point the toes. Root down into that left hand and reach forward with that right arm. Lifting up through that left palm, through that left arm, up into the armpit, and then release. Other side again, we'll send that right leg back, hip level-ish. Reach forward with that left arm, and now hold it here or bend that right knee, draw that foot in towards your bum, and then reach back with the left hand. Pull the foot in towards the bum, if you can grab a hold of the foot, and then press the foot out into the hand behind you. And then release. Bring it back through your cat balance, reaching out through the hand, out through that back foot, and then bring it back down to the mat, back into your table. Other side, send that left leg back. Reach it forward with that right arm. Hold it here, or bend that back knee. Pull that foot in towards your bum. Reach back with that right hand. If you can grab a hold of the foot, grab it and pull it in towards your bum. And then extend that foot out into your hand behind you. And then release. Come back through your cat balance. And then release hands, knees down to the mat. Let's tuck the toes under. Press into the fingers. Hug in through the arms. Lift up the forearms, lift up the armpits. Glide your hips back into downward dog. Generous bend in the knees here. And then find some movement. Pedaling legs or bending and straightening knees or anything that feels good in your body right now. And then we'll bend the knees, crouch down into tiger dog, glide your hips up to your downward dog. Bend your knees, crouch yourself down again. And this time as you glide your hips up, send right leg up for three-legged dog. Right toes pointing down towards the mat. Right hip squaring down towards the mat, and reach out through that right foot as you descend that left heel towards the mat. May never get there, that's okay. Just moving in that direction. And then release that right foot down to the mat. Crouch down. Now we'll send the left leg up. Three-legged dog. Few nice deep breaths here. And then release that foot down to the mat. Step your way up to the top of your mat. Come into forward fold, folding from your hips, belly to the thighs. Let the head go, shake it out, maybe rock the hips. And then bring yourself to center. Hands to the hips, press into your feet, lift your heart all the way up you come. Tadasana, let's take palms together at the heart. From your Tadasana, step the right foot back just a little bit, maybe a foot or so. Come up onto the ball of that right foot. And now we'll open the arms wide out to the side again, palms facing forward. Broadening through the collarbones. And then let's take the arms into our cactus position. Arms wide, fingers reaching up, elbows and fingers pulling back. And then hands interlace or just rest behind the back of the head, hugging through the belly. Maybe lift up the heart, lift the gaze. And then hug in through the belly. Bring yourself back to center, right foot steps back to your Tadasana, palms come back together at your heart. Take it to the other side. Now step that left foot back about a foot or so. Come up onto the ball of that foot. Root down through the feet, open the arms wide, palms facing forward. And then cactus the arms, goalpost arms, elbows and fingers pulling back. Belly drawing in and up, low back sweeping in and up, lengthening up through the crown. And then fingers behind the head, elbows wide. Maybe you lift the heart, little upper back bend. And then release the hands, palms together at the heart. You come back into your Tadasana. Now let's reach the arms up. Fold yourself in, forward fold, and now halfway lift to your flat back. Ardha Uttanasana, plant hands down to the mat. We'll step it back to plank. Lower your knees down to the mat. Lower down, pubic bone, belly, torso. Let's bring the forearms back down to the mat. Come through another Sphinx. Spread fingers wide. Hug arms back towards you as you pull the heart forward. Lower it down, take the hands underneath the shoulders, hug the elbows in. Now lift up the heart, baby cobra. So you reach back through the tops of the feet and then lower yourself down, tuck toes, glide yourself up, downward dog. Bend your knees, crouch down. Now we'll send the right leg up for a three-legged dog. Bend that right knee, take it forward into your chest, core plank. Step that right foot through to the right thumb. Stay up on the ball of your left foot. Bend that left knee. Press down into your feet as you hug in through the legs. Lift yourself up. High lunge. And then begin to straighten that back leg, finding some opening through the front of that left hip. Right hip pulls back a little bit. Hips squaring off towards top of the mat. Reach arms up. Hands to the mat. Step yourself back to plank. Lower the knees down. Come all the way down to the belly. Again, let's bring the forearms back to the mat. Spread the fingers, root into fingers and toes. Hug the arms back as you draw the heart forward. Lower yourself down. Hands come underneath the shoulders. or alongside the rib cage. Press into the fingers, lift your heart up, baby cobra. Maybe if you feel ready, you press up into a full cobra. Lower it down. Tuck toes, press yourself up, downward dog. Crouch down. Now we'll send the left leg up, three-legged dog. Bend that knee, bring it into the chest, shift it forward into your core plank. Step that left foot through. Stay up on ball of that right foot. Bend both knees as you press down into the earth and lift up, hugging in towards midline. Arms reach up, straighten that back leg, high lunge. Hands come down to the mat, step yourself back to plank. Drop the knees, lower down to the belly. And this time, let's just take it into a cobra, either baby cobra or your full cobra. Release yourself back down, tuck the toes. Back to downward dog. And then step or hop yourself up to the top of your mat. Fold it into your forward fold. Halfway lift. Fold it in, press into your feet, rise up, palms together overhead. Hands come back to your heart. From your Tadasana, again, step back, right foot, come up onto the ball of that right foot. We'll open the arms wide. Now begin to root into that left foot. Lift that right foot up off of the mat behind you. Keeping the chest lifted. And begin to bend that right knee. Draw it up towards your bum. Keep hugging the right knee in towards the midline. And then we'll keep the right foot where it is. Now cactus the arms, reach the arms up again. And then hands come to the back of the head. Zip in through the legs, hug in and up through the belly. Maybe you lay the head back into the hands. And then release. Come back to your Tadasana. Right foot comes back to the mat. Palms come back to the heart. Other side, step that left foot back. Come up onto the ball of that foot. Lift that left foot up off of the mat a little bit. And then open the arms out to the sides, palms facing forward. Stay like this or begin to bend that left knee, draw it up towards your bum. We'll bring the arms out into our cactus arms. Elbows bent, arms wide. And then stay here or hands back behind the head. Zip in through the belly as you root down through that right leg. Maybe you begin to lean the head back a little bit. And then release. Hands come back to heart. Left foot comes back to the mat. Other side, let's step that right foot back again. Coming up onto ball of that right foot. And then bend that right knee, tuck it up towards your bum. Keep that right knee hugging in towards the left. If it's available to you, reach that right hand for that right foot, ankle, and reach that left arm up along the ear. Phase 1, option to stay right here. Phase 2, begin to slowly tip the torso forward, reach out through the left fingers, send that right foot into the hand behind you, coming into our King Dancer, Nataraj Asana. And then slowly, you bring yourself back up, release that right foot, left arm comes back down. Let's take the weight over into that right foot. Step the left foot back. Come up onto the ball of that foot. And then we'll bend that left knee, draw it up towards your bum. Again, if it's available, you reach back with that left hand for the foot. If you can't quite grab the foot, you could use a strap here, or you just act as if. Hug the foot up towards your bum. Keep that left knee drawing in towards the midline. Tailbone reaching down as the belly draws in and up. Right arm reaches up along the ear. Phase 1, you stay right here. Phase 2, begin to tip yourself forward. Send that left foot out into the hand behind you. Reach out through those right fingers. But have a big or little bend in your standing leg. Smile. And then slowly bring yourself up. Release the arm and the foot back down. Arms reach up. Fold it in. Halfway up, flat back. Plant hands to the mat. Step yourself back to plank. Drop the knees and lower yourself down to the belly, or if you like, take it into chaturanga, low push-up. Roll forward on your toes, bend your elbows, lower yourself about halfway down. Keep the elbows hugging in, shoulders above the elbows. Come on to tops of the feet, thighs lifted. Pull your heart forward for your upward dog. We'll all meet back in our downward dog. Pedal out your legs. Drop knees down to the mat. Come all the way down onto the belly. Back into our Sphinx pose. Forearms to the mat, spread the fingers. Press down into finger pads, down into the toes. Draw the heart forward. Stay here or begin to bend your knees, draw your feet in towards your bum. And then release the feet down. Hands come underneath your shoulders. Press yourself back into Vajrasana. Come back to sit on the heels. Let's take the hands behind us. Coming onto finger pads or the palms. Stay here just leaning back on the hands, or again, if it's available, you can begin to lift the bum off of the heels. The inner legs drawing in towards each other. Lower your bum back down, come back up to sit on your heels. And now we'll drop over to one hip. Swing your legs around. Take it into a few bridge lifts, and then we'll bring it into a supported bridge. So you will want a block or two, or a bolster, something that you can tuck underneath you for support. So bend the knees, lower yourself all the way down to the mat, knees bent about hip width. Arms down alongside the body, have the palms facing up or down. Press into your feet, begin to lift your hips up. We'll take it into a half bridge first, just lifting the hips so they're in line with the knees, forming a line from the knees to the hips to the shoulders. And keep the knees drawing in towards center so the knees are not splaying outward. And then lower yourself down. We'll take it through a few bridge lifts now. Deep breath in as you press into the feet, lift your hips, also bring the arms into it. Sweep the arms up, overhead, alongside the ears. Press into the feet. Lift the hips up. And then lower your hips, your bum, your arms back down to the mat. Take it through a few more lifts. Press into the feet as you lift the hips, arms reach up and over. And then back down you come. Let's do it two more times. Press into the feet, lift the hips, arms sweep up. Bring it back down to the mat. One more time. Lift it up. Lower yourself back down to the mat, and now grab a hold of your support. So you could use one or two blocks. could put the block on whatever height feels okay for you. The tall, the medium, the low height. You could stack two on top of each other or use a bolster here. Press into your feet, lift your hips up and tuck that block right underneath your sacrum. Few nice deep breaths here. And then if you like, you could take the arms out to the side into a cactus formation again. Nice and open across the chest, across the collarbones. And then you stay just like this, or if you like, you could extend one or both legs down the mat. Really opening up through the front of the hips. And finding a little psoas release. And then we'll bring the arms back down alongside the body. If the legs are extended, slowly step the feet in. Press into your feet. And then remove the block. Lower yourself all the way down. Take your feet wide to the outer edges of your mat. Drop both knees over to the right. Up through center, both knees over to the left, and then just a few more times, gently rock your legs side to side. And then bring the knees back to center, walk the feet in, extend your legs down the mat, arms out to the sides, a little Shavasana. Close your eyes, check in. How do you feel now? Bring one hand to heart, one hand to belly. Revisit our intention to be gentle, kind, patient, loving, compassionate with ourselves. Release the hands. Take a deep breath in through your nose and then sigh it out of your mouth. Roll yourself over to one side and then press yourself up. Bring yourself into a seated position. Palms together at your heart. Thank you so much for sharing this short, slow flow, heart opening, front body opening, hip opening practice. With love and gratitude, namaste.